What is up, beautiful people? Welcome once again to hellohnclothing. Welcome to another wonderful tutorial. In this video, we're going to learn how to make this beautiful corset top. Okay, so it's like a funnel corset, right? And we are going to be using our patterns to achieve this top. We're going to do the cutting, the drafting, cutting, and sewing on here today. So get your fabric ready, get your paper, your scissors, and let's dive right into this video. Okay, so the first thing we're going to be doing is, for easy manipulation, to make it life easy for us, we are going to transfer the shoulder dart on our pattern to the armhole dart, okay? Because we want to create an armhole princess dart first of all, before we then go like a boat neck at the top part of this top or dress or blouse or whatever. Okay, so you actually want to do some tightening before you do that. So let's just tighten this so that we have a very firm bustier. Okay, just do like 2 inches towards the side seam and 1 inch here. Do the same thing here, 1 inch here and 2 inches towards the side seam. We're actually tightening because the neckline is going to be very low, and it's going to take care of any form of gaping, any form of anything that will not just let it look good. Okay, that's why we are going to be tightening this first of all. So it's on that new dart line, the new shoulder line that has been highlighted in red ink, that we are going to be working with. Okay, so now we have this beautiful dart on display. I'm going to be cutting this dart. Cut on one side. We want to actually close it, so I'm cutting here and I'm going to match it up. Remember, once you're trying to match up your darts, it will not lay flat again. Okay, so just match it up. Use your paper tape to close whatever you have just done. I hope you get the gist. Great, so we have closed that part up. We are then going to match up this part here, this shoulder here, because that's where the shoulder tip began. We're going to match it up to the new shoulder line. So once you do that, you can cut it off. We are not even going to be working with that shoulder as such. This is what you should be having on one side after closing the dart. You see how it doesn't lay flat? That is what you want to achieve. Come to your mid armhole here, okay, about here, and then draw your princess dart line on that point. I think I want to start from the chest line and then just draw the curve. Okay, so once you get that chest line mark, you want to connect it into the shoulder dart. You want to connect it that way, right? So once you connect it that way, just cut that part open so it relaxes. Cut it open, let it relax. You see it relax this way. So once it relaxes this way, you can go ahead to complete the armhole princess dart. Join it here. Okay. Use your measuring tape. Do another bust tightening. I'm not going to do the tightening at the top, just towards the side seam, and we can join back. Okay. And from there, just roll it straight down. Beautiful. So same thing we're going to do here. Beautiful. Now we can cut open these things we have here. Can cut it open. Let's focus on the other part. For the other part, the same thing you did on this side, do that, slash through, close the dart, transfer the dart to the armhole, connect the princess dart and then cut off. Beautiful. So now we have this. We're just going to use paper tapes to hold it back there. I'm actually matching up the lines. I'm matching up the bust line and this line here, the chest line. Okay, so once I match it, I'll pin it there. It doesn't mean even if it doesn't fill up, don't worry, because we are cutting out that part, it's not going to affect anything. So I'm matching up the bust line, like I'm using that as a guide to actually tilt this in place, and I'll just hold it down with the paper tape. Beautiful. So now you have this. The next thing is to draw the style line. Okay, I'm going to use a pencil. This is the chest line, depending on how low you want to go. So from here, the starting point will be this part here. Okay, you can just draw a straight line so that you understand what you're doing. So you can see my straight line from here to here, but you're not just going to do a straight line, you need to curve it. You need to give it that sharp curve. Okay, so from there you want to curve and back there. Okay, so let us do that. You can either use our hand or just I'm using the chest line as the guide. Since we're going to be sewing and it's going to be even going lower than that, okay, I think the chest line is a good guide. But if you really want some extra boobs to show, you can go onto the bust line, but that will be a lot of revealing of boobs. So I'll just use this to connect. If you want it to be very symmetrical, like you want it to be perfectly done on both sides, once you have done this, I'll just close it up, use my tracing wheel and trace it so that it shows up on the other side, and that is exactly where I'm going to. So can you see that what we drew before, that what we call this sketch we did earlier? Can you see if we had just followed it, it wouldn't have been symmetrical on both sides. So do the first sketch on the first half of the paper and then fold it into two and complete. So I'll connect this now to this. Beautiful. Now I can just cut open. This is a very like a crop tube top. If you wanted to get to maybe a little lower than this, by all means feel free to add extra fabric to the bottom part of this one. This is what we are working with. Okay, this is what we are working with. So at this point you can go ahead to check out your back, do your back bustier. Just connect the back armhole to armhole. Since I already have something like that, I'll just work with it that way. I'll just connect my back this way. This is a back piece. I'm just going to do it one straight back. If I want to put that here, or I still want to put a what do you call this, boning at the center of the back, all well and good. I can divide this pattern and do that. Okay, I would also just mark out where it should get to on this point and use it for that as well. Okay, so we have this now. We can go ahead to cut on our fabric and then iron our interfacing on the fabric. Every other thing we need to do to make this pattern, this dress come to life, or this top come to life, we'll do all of that. And yeah, that will conclude the tutorial. So let us begin cutting on the fabric, stitching it up, and we'll be done in no time. Oh, I can actually even just lay it flat, since I can cut one piece of each, right? How do I mean? I can put it this way because I'm cutting one piece. I did it on a full front body, so I'm fine to cut it this way. I'll just pin in place, put my seam allowance on the sides. Let me remove this. Just follow the way it was when you were doing it on the pattern. So let me just pin it down. I'm putting 1/2 inch around the pattern. I want to know where I would love it to get to. I want to extend it. Okay guys, this is everything. This is the front specifically of the main fabric. So you can see the padding at the back. You need to actually pad it. I left out just a little of the allowance, the side seams, and I went lower than the original armhole and the neckline. Okay, so once I have this, I'll just take it right over to my sewing machine and then stitch it up. Okay, I'm going to stitch this, stitch the back, stitch the lining, stitch everything, come back to iron it. Then once I'm done with that, you see us insert the boning. Okay, so you have two options. We can actually stitch this on the outside, okay, and insert our boning casing on the outside of this garment, or you can stitch it on the inside and insert the boning casing on the inside of the garment, whichever one you decide to use. Okay, so Alright guys, so this is what we're having for the front. Everything stitched on the inside. Gone ahead to put the bonings both on the back, center, front, the side, both on the back, the front, and I have prepared my loops as well, where the strap is going to be, where the lacing is going to be. I've prepared the loops. At this loop, to make it more sturdy, you can either put another boning there or sew on the sewable boning on it so that it's more sturdy. Okay, and this is the lining piece that I'll just be placing right there. I put the sewable boning on the lining piece too to give it some structure. Now all I'll just do is place this. I'm going to also put the sewable boning here. Okay, I want to sew the top, the armhole, the center front, the neckline. I want to sew this part here. I'll put the sewable boning there, the regular bone. Sew the top, the armhole, the neck, the armhole, the neck, the other part of the lacing. That's the other part of the closure. Then you want to sew down, but please leave a little place where you can flip this inside out, okay? Don't just sew everything close. It's either you're leaving the armhole or you're leaving part of the hem. Just leave somewhere that you can turn it inside out, then you finish that part up properly. So that's all we're going to be doing now. Going to the sewing machine, stitching all this up to close it up properly. Then we'll come back, iron, and we'll wrap this tutorial up. This is what you should be having, like this, okay? So you can see everything. And this was where I left open to flip inside out, okay? Like I said, you can put it at the bottom, whichever way you deem fit. Now at this stage, I'm going to be trimming off any parts that was too much, like when sewing and all of that. I'm going to trim out top part here. The armhole, you want to trim and ease, like notch, trim and notch up any excesses. I mean trim any excesses and notch up along the curved lines. Anything curved, you want to notch it up. Alright guys, we are finally through with this project. You can see the inside of the garment looking beautiful. There's no raw seam, there's nothing like unpleasant going on in the inside of the garment. You can also see the loops, that is where we're going to be passing the lacing on. And then this is the front side of the garment, looking pretty as well. Every single thing has been properly done. The armhole, and then I went on to do a top stitch at that neckline, round every part of the neckline to give it a very good, pleasant look, fitting look. Yeah, that is the lacing there, what we're going to use for the straps to lace it up. And yeah, that's about it guys. If you did enjoy this video, if you think this is something you're going to try out, please let me know in the comment section below. If you have any question as to something you're not clear about, let me know as well. Do not forget to subscribe if you're yet to. Do not forget to give me a huge thumbs up as well. And till we see you in the next tutorial. Stay safe. God bless you all. Bye.